I've been playing the new 1.5 update of Infinity NIKKI. I've talked about it before on the show, of course, but it's an open world dress-up adventure game developed by Infold Games. It just got its first major update. The new update, of course, adds new story quests, 2 new areas, and a whole bunch of new features, including the ability to dye clothes and edit your ability outfits, as well as co-op play. For me, they're kind of the 2 main ones.
Sure.
As you can see, clothes dyeing in the game is a pretty detailed process, but it's really great once you get the hang of it. There's not a really good tutorial into it, but once you start to figure out what you're doing, you can make some really great designs. I really like finding things where the silhouettes match, but the colors don't, so then I can put it all together to make a whole new outfit. That being said, there are only 2 colors, as you can see, available in each palette for free, and then you have to unlock them, but it is exclusive to every single article of clothing. So it is not a universal unlock. You unlock palettes for each piece of clothing, which has been really annoying. But also, it means that I can make beautiful things like this, but it takes up a lot of those diamonds that I have to use, which I found really frustrating, but still a lot of fun. But then there's the co-op play, which is arguably the bigger part of this update. I've been playing a little bit of co-op with my bestie Claudia and bestie of the show, Chloe Appleby, but it's mainly been us holding hands, dressing up and taking pictures. I'd say doing photo shoots in your little outfits is probably the most functional aspect of co-op. It's definitely the most fun part. As we can see here, we've got the 2-player platforming games. They're fun enough. They are also the most glaring look at the performance issues that the new updates brought along. I'm not sure if it's an everybody problem, but the fact that Australia's best server for this game is the American server with a minimum of around 200 to 300 ms ping at all times, it makes playing co-op anything incredibly difficult and ranges from general lag all the way to having to completely restart the game because you cannot move. Considering it was released as a single-player game with online services, I'm kind of in the boat where, like, I see performance getting better over time with bug fixes and maybe an Oceania server, maybe. I don't think we're big enough of an audience to make it happen, but it would benefit me, so they should do it. But I don't want to dog on the devs too hard for something that they are and they can and are actively trying to fix. Because every time I log in, there's a new update with like patches and bugs. So I can't knock them for trying.
They've updated, they've put more bugs in.
What I will knock them for doing is the monetization and gacha aspect of the game, which is very much what most people are actually really mad about at the moment. Previously, the maximum number of clothing pieces in a 5-star outfit banner, which is like what you're doing the gacha for, was 10. But now the new outfits are 11 pieces, which means that you have to roll more to get them.
Right.
And some of those pieces for the specific outfits aren't even visible. So it kind of feels like, what was the point of making that part of the outfit if there wasn't that many pieces beforehand and you can't see it? It's like the leggings. It's or like tattoos on the legs, something like that. It means they're harder to unlock, and also certain styling challenges pretty much become uncompletable because they kind of need that outfit for you to complete them.
Yeah, right.
Because those outfits score higher. You're not versing other people in these styling battles. It is still versing a computer score, but those higher ranking outfits, which you usually get from the gacha, is what you kind of need to beat those higher levels. And so
it's a bit of pay to play.
Exactly. But like pay to win,
Yeah.
single player.
That's strange.
And like back, you know, when I first started playing the game was like pretty, when you're seeing stuttering, that isn't the player, that's the game.
Yeah. That's the server.
But it previously seemed like the game was very generous with the currency. To an extent, it still kind of is, but when you're like me and like many people, and you've finished the main story quest, you've done a lot of the extra things that you can do to get gems for free, and you're kind of just waiting to do your dailies, it gets to a point where you're when they're making those gacha banners, harder to roll for, it doesn't really feel like they're being as generous. You know what I mean? And it just kind of feels a bit more money hungry than it used to.
Which is it's a gacha game at its core, which people have people have mixed feelings about them, but at their core, when they're done well, they can still marry a good game with a system there that is for people who want to either spend more money or put more points into that kind of side of the game. It's when it does that imbalance starts to happen, if that's what you're kind of seeing here now in particular.
Because like with stuff like Genshin, and you can draw a lot of similarities with Nikki and Genshin. You're rolling for full characters, right? But with Nikki, you're rolling for almost pieces of a puzzle,
pieces of a character,
right?
so it's like there's more of an opportunity to stretch that out and make the process a bit more predatory, or just a little more like drawn out.
Pretty much, but like that, that's kind of the only thing I can personally really dog on it for is that like I'll poo-poo the monetization.
Please dog on Nikki. Let's get to Nikki.
But playing together with my friends is really fun.
Is that just these chambers though? Is the main what about the main game?
I played a bit of the game, and the world is pretty densely packed with stuff to do, but it also is like a little bit shallow. It's like a light place to be. So like there's not like a really driving Link adventure, right? There's just like you can like there's adventures for sure, but it's not. I wasn't driven to play more, whereas I think in co-op that definitely would just help me get deeper into the game.
I think co-op for me, like co-op, I'd say the co-op's shallow compared to the game itself. It's the co-op that's quite shallow.
But sorry, you can play the whole. You can play the whole game in co-op, right?
I haven't tried.
Okay,
that's what I'm.
Because from what I've seen, what I've experienced so far, the two new areas I've seen are the only places where you can play co-op with people.
So it feels like this is potentially a game that wasn't designed, that co-op might not work in it holistically, but like they have to add either chambers or areas for it, or just isolate certain areas of the game that the co-op's available in, which is again not fault.
Well, that's the thing is like it because it was released as a single player game. I don't like. It seems like co-op was something that people wanted, and so they've added it.
Yeah, and it wasn't planned, but that's fine.
It wasn't planned, but that's fine. And I think the performance issues and the bugs and stuff, honestly, I'm not super like this game is bad about, because like it's a few visual glitches and sometimes I have to restart my game. But people were saying the exact same thing about the early days of Final Fantasy 14 Online, that it was a bit of a mess.
Oh, it's still good.
What are you playing on?
Yeah.
PS5.
Okay. It's still worth pointing out.
That's worrying.
But it's well, that's the thing. It's still worrying.
George in the chat pointing out again. No, the whole thing is co-op apparently. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, good for them.
I'll give
Good
it
for
another
Nikki.
try. But yeah, like I love this game, and I will still play it. I think from what I've seen as well, the devs are pretty receptive to criticism, and there is quite a back and forth conversation. I literally saw I got 200 free diamonds and a few other things in a sorry letter from the devs, because it seemed like the social media manager spelled Nikki's name wrong in a social media post, and
they
fans
got
went
dogged on?
crazy. They got dogged
Nikki
on.
with a Y?
Nikki with a Y.
Oh my God.
Mind you, I think it was like a domino effect type thing of like the 1.5 release was so poorly received that one thing led to another, and then they spelt Nikki's name wrong, and people were like, "How dare you disrespect Nikki? She is so kind." And I'm like, "Yeah,
bugs
fair
I can
enough.
deal with, but you do not disrespect Nikki."
They love Nikki. They love Nikki. I love this game, but fix it.